Hello, welcome to AstroEnergy with Astrologer Angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the, Tuesday, May 3rd edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. It is good to have you here. I am an astrologer. Well, my name is Shelley Overton, to let you know who I am. And I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. I love being here every week to tell you all about what's going on in the sky and take calls and answer your questions. If you would like to call in and get your chart read and talk to me, have a question, I can be reached at 347-994-3365. That's our call-in number. And you just have to hit the 1 to raise your hand or to let me know that you are in the queue to get a reading. So let's just go back over what's going on this week and what is coming up. So I wrote down a couple things to remind myself. Of course, they're across the room, so I'm just going to have to remember. So last week, Mercury went retrograde, and in the last couple of weeks, we had Mars go retrograde and Pluto go retrograde. So right now in the sky, we have, and actually I'm looking at a chart that is a natural chart. I was just about to get ready to do the horoscopes for May. Yes, I'm 2 days late, but you know, it's a busy, busy life. I apologize, but I'm absolutely going to be getting to it here probably right after the show. And then you can go find it at Shelley Overton. Actually, not Shelley Overton. AstrologerAngel.com. What the heck? Anyway, so let's just go over what the chart says now. We've got a Taurus rising here in Orlando. And so that just kind of drives home the whole Taurus energy right now. We've got Sun at 13 degrees. So Sun is at, wait a minute, hang on. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm actually looking at, I did a sunrise chart. So let's just get that up to date. Okay, it's a Cancer rising right now. That makes more sense. And so anyway, 17-degree Cancer rising in Orlando. And then we have a Leo on the second house cusp, Jupiter at 13 retrograde in the third house, North Node at 20 degrees Virgo retrograde, Mars is in Sagittarius at 7 degrees, Saturn is 15 degrees Sagittarius, both are retrograde. Pluto is at 17 Capricorn retrograde, Neptune at 11 not retrograde, South Node at 20 degrees Pisces retrograde, and the Moon is at 28 degrees Pisces, about to go into Aries, probably during the show. And so let's see, we have Uranus at 21 Aries, Venus at 4 degrees Taurus, Sun at 13 degrees Taurus, and Mercury at 22 Taurus retrograde. So, okay, so going back over this past week, we've had, well, see, I don't necessarily watch the news, but I do have information that filters into me through radio shows I listen to and through Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of thing. So Prince, I think, was the big story last week. Prince passed away. Probably, I think it was April 5th. No, not April 5th. 25th? Can't remember the exact date. Anyway, so recently. And then I just noticed two stories that were really interesting. A couple of hikers. Okay, my tongue is not under my control yet. Okay, so a couple of climbers, mountain climbers that were in Nepal in 1999 who passed away on October 5th, 1999, climbing, I think it was one of the mountains in Kathmandu. Their bodies were discovered 2 days ago, the 27th. Oh, no, that's more than 2 days ago. It was April 27th. So they kind of emerged right around the same time Mercury went retrograde, and I was doing their chart. And this is kind of an interesting thing to do if you are interested in astrology. This is something that I really love to do, and I part of the research, the ongoing research I do as an astrologer, which I take either celebrity charts, if something happens with celebrities, or news event charts, and I will research them and find out information about news stories, especially if they involve accidents or something, in that nature, because I have a Scorpio rising, so, the energy of when people transition always fascinates me. That's just my morbid Scorpio rising and Scorpio moon Neptune conjunction. So anyway, there were two hikers or two climbers. One was named Alex Lowe. And I thought that was really interesting, his story in and of itself, because there were three men on the climb, and the third person survived. And he went back and ended up marrying the widow of Alex Lowe, which was one of the two men who passed away. So he ended up adopting the three boys that the man had. So I just found that really interesting karma. And I guess I kind of also look at these charts from a karmic standpoint as well. Being a Buddhist, I'm always wondering, well, what are the stories you came in with? You know, and that's the astrology side too. Like, what are the themes of your life? What is it that you choose to explore? So Alex Lowe was born December 24th, 1958 in Bozeman, Montana. And I did a sunrise chart, and I found that really interesting. The sun rose at 8:09 in the morning in Bozeman. I didn't even know that the sun would rise so late. So anyway, so his chart he had at sunrise was a Capricorn rising, which is the Earth, and right next to his sun. So, of course, the sunrise chart means the sun is right on the horizon, on the cusp of the chart. So his sun was right at 2 degrees Capricorn. And right before that was Saturn at 28 degrees Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius, as you know if you've been listening, is the energy of the adventurer, the wanderer. And so he was in a foreign country, 28 degrees Saturn, meaning the end of a story. And in the sunrise chart, of course, it was at the end of the full circle of the chart. So if you look at a chart as the horizon, the sunrise part, or not, excuse me, not, well, for him, because it's a sunrise chart, it's his rising sign. But in any chart, the horizon is where you came into this world. It's like the dawn of your life. So reading that chart, the dawn of his life was also connected to the moment of his death, because Saturn was at the last degrees of Sagittarius, just above the horizon. So Saturn doesn't necessarily mean that that's the end of your life, but what it is it's the purpose of your life. And at the end degrees, you're wrapping up a story. So the purpose of his life in the sunrise chart is to learn about spirit, to learn about adventure, and to learn about seeking out connection to a higher understanding and a higher purpose in life, which, if you really think about what it takes to climb mountains and then get to the top of a mountain, you know, if you go on YouTube or any of the sites that show movies or photos of what it looks like up there on the top of the mountain, it is, I would say, a very spiritual experience, because you're so high up, the air is thin, you probably get a little bit of a high and dizzy, and you can see forever, and it must be very close to what it's like to be in a state of transition, you know, to go to the great beyond, I would think, where you get the overview of everything. So anyway, his chart shows this really strong energy right by his sun. So, and that also means that as he was born, Saturn was at the end degrees of something. So to me, that definitely could be interpreted as someone who is going to have a short life, because Saturn is the culmination of something. At 28 degrees, it is also your life purpose. So your life purpose, you pretty much have come in and experience something with a late degree Saturn. Doesn't mean you're going to die right away. There are other things in his chart that, I mean, if you have a late degree Saturn in your chart, it could also mean you're going to be very old if it's in certain aspects, because Saturn is Capricorn and the old energy, like length of life. It means old people generally. It stands for tradition and things that are old and things that are older. So it can also mean that you're going to live a long life. But when we come into this world, the energies are going on. The planets are always expressing some type of story. And when we're born, that moment in time when we're born, we express starting at that point. But before we were born, the planets had a story just before we were born. That story is really interesting too, because if you think back of what goes on in the year that you were born and what energies were coming through. Those if something was going on and it wrapped up right before you came in, theoretically, depending on other planets and position, you could be into the world to try and be at the cutting edge of the new story. But in this case, obviously, he was only here for a short time. He was born in 1958, so I think he died in 99, so he was 41, and so that was pretty young to pass away. But his chart had the day. Well, so this is actually more interesting to me. Yes, the charts of birth and death are interesting, but the chart of when the avalanche hit, October 5th, 1999, and then when he was found, the 27th of April, 2016, there was one quote that I got from the story online, which is really interesting. And his wife had written a story along with the other man who was there who survived that she married. And in the story, she said, someday the glacier will melt and he will reemerge, and I don't look forward to that day. And I just found that really amazing because think about it, a glacier melting, she may not have been around when that happened, but there it is 16 years later, or 17 actually, 17 years, 16 and a half years later, that happened. So it's just really fascinating. And then when the day the avalanche happened was Jupiter was in Taurus and Saturn was in Taurus. And, of course, right now we have Sun in Taurus and Mercury retrograde in Taurus. And there was another aspect I found interesting. The day that the avalanche happened, Pluto was at 8 degrees Sagittarius. And today, or not today, but April 27th, when he was found, Mars was at 8 degrees Sagittarius. And not only, I'm looking at this, Pluto was 8 degrees Sagittarius in 20 minutes. Mars is at 8 degrees Sagittarius and 20 minutes retrograde. So we redo. But it was exactly at the point of Pluto, which, of course, rules the 8th house of death and rebirth. So that was quite an interesting connection in the chart from the avalanche to when they were found. Anyway, so that happened. And then there was another story. Gosh, if I can't remember what it was. Something else reemerged. I'm trying to remember what it was. But if I think about it in the show, I will let you know, but I can't remember what it is. Looking at my little notes and I don't see it. So I apologize. But anyway, okay, so what I was going to talk about today was love and money. So the reason I chose that is because not only are Venus, Sun, and Mercury all in Taurus right now, the moon is a couple days away from going into Taurus and becoming a new moon. So that means there will be 4 heavenly bodies in Taurus. So this is very much a Taurian energy right now. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. Oh, that's what it was. There was a Venus thing. That's what it was. Okay, great. I reminded myself. That's why I chose it. There was also the HMS Endeavour, which was a ship James Cook took from England over to Australia for the purpose of finding out or tracking the transit of Venus, which I thought was really interesting. So what happens, they find his ship that had been sunk, or what do they call it? They called it scuttled, in a harbor in Rhode Island. So they found what they think is his ship, along with, I think they said 4 other ships in the harbor in Rhode Island, which is amazing to me. So, and it sank in 1778, I believe. So there's another thing emerging from this Mercury retrograde. So why would that necessarily be something that happens? Is the physical body a physical ship? And it was also said that the ship, I was reading about it, that it may have been a goods ship, like it transported goods, as a means of like why it was created was to be more of a trade ship, which is completely under the rulership of Venus and the sign of Taurus. So Mercury retrograde in Taurus is bringing out the material goods of the world, and retrograde, so they're coming back up, but it's probably more than that. It's probably also the fact that Sun is trining Jupiter, and all the energies in Taurus are in various degrees of grand trine with Pluto, Jupiter, and the Taurus energy, which is Earth energy. So it is coming up. They're all retrograde. Mercury retrograde, trining, Jupiter retrograde, trining, Pluto retrograde. Major life change regarding death and the body and the physical in Pluto retrograde. Jupiter also can be life transition in Virgo, another earth sign, another sign of the tangible, and understanding and learning. So we're learning things from what happened. So we're gaining knowledge and wisdom. And then Mercury, which of course rules Virgo, but also rules understanding, learning, teaching in Taurus, the physical body. So anyway, it was just really an interesting couple stories that I wanted to share with you. And then there was another one I posted on my Facebook page as well. And if you go to AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel, I think I posted it to Astrologer Angel on the Facebook page. So anyway, there's a story about 3 habitable planets that have been discovered with a telescope. And I think it was, I want to say the Chinese discovered it maybe. Anyway, it's on my Facebook page, so I'll look into that and let you know probably after the break what it is. So, okay, anyway, so Taurus and Venus, its ruler, it rules money. And so wherever it falls in your chart, that's one of the places, only one of the places. There are many other ways you can look for money, but where Venus falls is how you interact with money, what your ideas are around money and what it means to you, how you express it, how you express wealth, how you express your interest in owning things, ownership, and also the physical body and love, what it is that you need for an expression of love. So I thought today, go around, because of all this Taurus energy, I would go around the chart and tell you what each sign means if your Venus is in that sign, to help you understand your nature around love and money. And then we'll take some calls after I get through with that. So we'll probably take an early break so that I have time to talk to the callers. And let's see. Okay, so Venus in Aries. Venus in Aries means that you have a love of action, a love of interacting with the world. You are very enthusiastic and take action towards whatever your desires are. You don't wait around for them to come to you. You basically say, okay, this is what I want and I'm going after it. So because of that, you tend to have more confidence around love, with the exception of, say, having Chiron next to your Venus, or an opposition of Mars or something like that. You know, there are other afflictions that can make you less confident. But generally, Venus in Aries, quite outgoing, responsive, interactive, and you're more interested, I would say, instead of love, you're probably more interested in sex as a means to love. And as far as possessions are concerned, it's the sign of the consummate salesperson. So you're able to gain money through taking the action. And that's because with an Aries energy, that would put Taurus on the second house of money, and Taurus obviously is all about money. So Aries tend to be able to make money fairly easily just because they're willing to take the action. They don't hesitate with how they take action around money and love. And it's kind of like they cast their net over a wide area and something's going to get caught in it. So Taurus, the next sign, of course, Taurus rules love. So Taurus also loves beauty and aesthetics and romance. So that sign is much more about, and again, because it's an earth energy, it's about the body and about tangible expression of love. So it would be flowers and candy and, yes, definitely attention, but more so the physical expression of it, the monetary, the beauty. Definitely a love of aesthetics, and maybe a really good artist in your own right if you have Venus in Taurus. And money, generally don't have much issue making money. It means that you liken what you can do to the value. So when you value something, if your value is around money, then you have a natural Venus and Taurus natural affinity towards making money, and also feel like the need for security around money. So money is kind of a central desire, or nice things, status symbols that are aesthetically pleasing. So instead of just, oh, I'm going to get a lot of stuff, you're going for the really good stuff, and you may enjoy eating as a means of connecting to the tactile qualities, the physical qualities of that type of expression. So Venus in Taurus can also give you an inclination towards weight gain and retaining weight, because if you're not getting your emotional needs met, you may end up eating as a means of trying to fill that hole and that void that you have. Okay, so Venus in the sign of Gemini is a love of communication, a love of ideas, wanting to connect to other people through voicing opinions, through having little brainstorms, having little conversations. But you can also, in love, be dualistic, probably the word I use most with the sign of Gemini, because it is a sign of duality. It is the sign of the twins. And so it's the sign that it can earn money through more than one means and may have more than one lover. So, just watch out. They are very charismatic, Gemini as a sign. And, generally people like them on first meeting because they're really able to connect in, and they're interested in talking to you. They want to find out about you. They like the conversation, and they're chatty, obviously. And so as far as money is concerned, it probably is something more difficult for Venus and Gemini to handle. The air signs are more inclined to having it come and go. It's more conceptual, that they think, well, I could do this for money, or I could do that for money. And so because of that nature of always needing the next stimulation, it might be that they don't stick with something long enough to really let it come to fruition. So money comes and goes in their world. And unless they have other planets giving more stability, more Earth energy, or Taurus planets, it's definitely something that is mercurial. So their money is pretty much dictated by Mercury. So right now, Virgo and Geminis are doing really well with money, well, generally, because of all the planets in Taurus, and Mercury is in Taurus. Mercury is retrograde, so right now for Geminis, they're thinking more about money, and they're wanting to renovate their finances. So Cancer, Venus in Cancer means that you are ruled by the moon, so your desires can be transient as well, kind of like Mercury, but probably more quickly shifting, more moody in how you express yourself and your desires. You are someone who needs security. You want to have that nice home life, and generally in love, you're more inclined to stay home and watch a movie and cook a nice meal than to go out, because you just need that sense of security in the shell. And it's the sign of the crab, so it's kind of a mushy middle but a hard outer layer. So it's also one of the signs that take a little bit longer to really get to know in love. And if you want to win over a Cancer, you appreciate what they do for you, like a mother would. So let me see what else. Oh, and if you hurt their feelings, they're going to run in and they're going to give you the silent treatment. You can always tell when someone who has Cancer is mad at you, because the sign of Cancer, because they will stop talking to you, and then you've done something wrong. Okay, Leo. Leo is the opposite of Cancer. Leo wants to be out in the public eye, and the Venus energy, definitely love of attention. They, depending on other planets, will always gravitate towards the center of attention, or at least getting the kudos on some level, or connecting to other people. It is a sign of friendship and love, romance. It's a sign of romance. It's the fifth house of romance. It's creativity and children. They are generous and gregarious when they are in love. They may be very needy in love because they constantly want to be paid attention to, and they do like to relate one-on-one. And so Leo Venus probably needs someone who's going to feed their ego, or who may not themselves need the attention, so that Leo can get all the attention. But generally, probably two Leos might be good, although the only downfall is that they'd have to be really grounded, because two Leos means that they're both seeking out to be the center. And if they have other planets that ground them a little more, they can recognize that they really do have a lot of fun. They're playful. They have a very childlike spirit. Venus loves to play. And as far as money, they're very generous. They're good at gambling because the sun energy that is the ruler of Leo will create a tremendous amount of fortune through taking risk. And because it's a fire sign, they're going to take risk, and then they get a lot of fortune. So monetarily, they're also very generous and will spend on the people they love extravagant gifts. So they may not always have money, or they may realize that they will get money coming again, because they have a really great way of attracting it. So Virgo, opposite sign of, not opposite sign of Taurus, but definitely the opposite energy. So Leo can be very gregarious and warm and generous, where Virgo is rather frugal. Excuse me, one second. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. They can be really frugal and not necessarily want to spend money, and they tend to worry a little bit more about money and where it's going to come from, because they also are, the Virgo energy is the sign of service and a hermit. They may not want to go out and interact with people to get the money. They can be much more computer oriented, and so they're not going to necessarily want to interact with people. They are the hermit, so it's kind of a loner energy when it comes to love. And as far as money, they can have difficulty getting money in their life because they are a little bit shy to interact with people. And so, generally you go to jobs or you interact with people to make money unless you've figured out a way to do it on the internet without actually interacting with anybody. So, so Virgos are, I heard it that somewhere I read that two Virgos together are like two porcupines making love. And my ex is a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, so that might be true. I don't know. I'm not going to admit anything, but it's rather amusing because they are a little bit more nitpicky about their partners. So yeah, Virgo's looking for love. They're going to take their time and not necessarily pick someone right away because they have a laundry list of what it is they need in a partner, and they're not going to budge until they get it. So Libra really is in love with love. It's an air sign, and so their love life is constant. I don't know if Venus and Libra pretty much go from relationship to relationship, and they are in love with the idea of love, and they really feel more balanced and valued if they have a partner. So that's really kind of the cornerstone of the Venus energy, is where is your value in love, and how is it expressed. And for Libra, they are looking for the balance, and that means they need another person in their lives. So money, again, Libra is ruled by Venus, so they are good and bad in money. So they can attract money through their own beauty. So this is probably the trophy wife at times. I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, Venus in Libra is the sign of beauty and physical beauty. So they can attract fortunate monetary situations through their own beauty. And I don't know that they're necessarily good with money because Libra is the sign of the social worker. So they will give their last dollar to someone else if they feel that the other person needs it more than they do. And because Libra is in the first house, puts Virgo in the 12th, they can be very generous to a fault, because Virgo in the 12th will mean that they're geared towards service and that self-effacing nature. So Venus and Libra, yeah, they may have money come and go, or they may actually have money connected to their partner. And then Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio is the sign of love as a possession. And it may not be a conscious thing, but if it is, they can be ruthless because they understand the nature of other people, the desire nature, and they always have that in their little bag as, or I should say the best way to say is ace in the hole. So if they ever need to pull out the power card, they know exactly to do to get back at you. Generally, they are very committed to their partners. They will give all they can to their love interest until it's beyond its ripe date. And then they will continue to go probably another year. And then once they've finally exhausted every means they can of making that relationship work, they will give it up. And when they give it up, they pretty much cut ties completely and will move on and not go back to it. It's like once they're done, and it's a complete and utter done, because Pluto is their ruler of the planet they answer to. And Pluto has a way of giving its all until it's exhausted, and then it will cut and run. So when they're in love, pretty much you are their center until you've hurt their feelings or been inconsiderate of them. And then they will get revenge, whether it's overt or covert. Chances are it's going to be passive aggressive. And you may not even know that they did it, but they will get you. So, yeah, if you want to play with Scorpions, they are the most passionate lovers, and they know exactly how to get to you. They are ruled by an emotional life, so they're very deep, and they are just intuitive about how to interact with you in a relationship. But you have to understand that nature, or have, I would say, a Pisces would be a good partner for Scorpio, because Pisces is the sign that is very accepting of everybody and does not have a mean bone in their body. And so Scorpions can pretty much connect to the emotional energy without having that testiness or agitation that can push them over the deep end. Let's see, Libra. Oh no, we already did Libra. Sorry, Scorpio and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign of the adventurer. They are not a committer as a general rule, having Venus in Sagittarius. They are very gregarious. They are charmers, and they're really interesting because they have very adventuresome lives. They're musicians. The archetype of a musician fits Venus and Sagittarius well. They love music and they love their freedom. So the first person I really was interested in high school was a Sagittarius, and he was a musician and he was not a committer. So that is the energy of Venus. And then for money, actually, I want to back up real quick to Venus in Scorpio for money. That rules joint possession, so your money will come from other sources, or joint, not necessarily other sources as much as a partner. And whatever financially you do, there's some connection to that partnership. And the same with Venus and Libra. They are really good with partnering for their money. Okay, Sagittarius for money, they tend to have a detachment to money. They don't really seem to care one way or the other. They're not into what money represents. It's a very spiritual experience for them, and they are not going to be tied down to money in any way, shape, or form. They are the wanderer and the gypsy of the Zodiac. So as you know, gypsies don't tend to have a lot of money. They just move from here to there and lead their lives as they see fit. Capricorn is about money, is about owning everything, responsibility for making money, responsibility for their children, their partner, their work, everything. They want to create and be the center go-to person. They are so highly responsible and interested in systems. They are going to have the bank book balanced, and everything will be completely taken care of, T's crossed, I's dotted. So, yeah, you're not getting away with anything financially from a Capricorn, and they can be a little prickly in love. They are very traditional. They're going to wait for marriage to do anything physical, and if they don't, it would be some other planet encouraging them, because Capricorns are kind of the original, pardon me for saying so, Venus and Capricorn, but prissy lovers. They're very much about, you have to be a mannerful person, and but they are very responsible, and they will be with you, and they are steadfast in love. They will marry you and stick with you till the end. Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius is erratic and eccentric, and they like unusual partners, and that is if they settle down. Venus in Aquarius tends to not be able to settle on one partner. They are interested in finding out different things about everybody. They're the learning energy of the zodiac, and they're extremely intelligent, and Venus in Aquarius means that they think they've got it all figured out in love, and they know everybody's motivation and how it should go, and they could be a little bit more idealistic about love, but they're very intellectual about love. They analyze it, and they say, okay, I know what this is all about, and they're more interested in finding out how love works on a scientific level. So they may be the ones that say, oh, well, this isn't truly love because that's just a chemical reaction in your brain making your heart race. So, and then when it comes to money, they're the inventors. So they could be like the absent-minded professor. They can invent things that will revolutionize the world and have money, and the money will be stuffed into mattresses or thrown in a drawer and left and forgotten about because they're too busy with what they're doing. And so they're a little bit more of a difficult sign to be in love with because of all that. So, and they're usually very charming too. They are physically beautiful, and they can be really charming. And I know Ashton Kutcher is a sun sign in Aquarius, so that kind of gives you an idea. You know, they tend to be really sexual beings in energy, but highly intelligent, and it may not be, they're not really the settling down type, or if they do, it's going to change sometime in their life. And then the last sign is Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces can mean that they develop addictions to people and are obsessed over people, and it makes them, and I think Scorpio and maybe Capricorn also can do that, can be prone to that. But Venus in Pisces, it is about the escape for them, the escape of love and the connection to spirit. So what they're trying to do is get back to universal love. They are so accepting of a partner. They absolutely are the most easygoing sign of the zodiac for love. They will be in relationships and never leave just because it's easy not to break up, and they'll just let it go because they don't want to take any action on it. So I guess that means they're like a happy cat laying in the sunshine. It's like, okay, it's all good. You know, you want to go over there and do that? Okay, that's fine. Bye. And in money, they are also not terribly good with money because either money can be an addiction, it can go towards addictions, or they just don't have an earthly resonance to money. It's not about material value, it's about spiritual value. So generally Venus in Pisces is not really good with money, but they probably have someone, they're probably the ones that are living in someone's basement and have other people who bring them food. So, and that's just Venus, and in Pisces, it's not everybody who's a Pisces. It's just, but Pisces energy is very laid back. So that's the Venus through the signs and love and money, where you can find it with that. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to take our calls, and then we will be right back. In these days of stress, running around, responsibilities, we all need a little place to go to make it all better. Is that place sports, football, or maybe you like to garden, paint, or just listen to music? Wherever your happy place is, you can find a shirt or mug to reflect that happy place. At myhappyplace.rocks, we have a variety of lifestyle products, including iPhone cases, pajamas, and pet items, all with beautiful, colorful designs, which help us go to our happy place. Stop by on the web for great gift ideas for others and yourself. myhappyplace.rocks. Lenny Pickett appears courtesy of Random Act Records. Check them out at randomactrecords.com. Okay, welcome back. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. So happy that you're here. And we are going to take some calls now that I've had a sip of water. Hi, 313. How are you?
I'm greater than great. How about yourself, Miss Shelley?
I'm good. Tell me, it's Robert. I know, Vaughn.
Yes,
right? What's going on for you, Vaughn? How's your week?
Good. Oh, you know me. It's always good. It's always good.
Awesome. So what can I do for you today?
You know what? I was looking at your show. And, normally I listen to you via the site. I'm not on the phone. I like to let other people get on. I've been on a couple times, but it's love and money, so I figured.
Absolutely. Let's see. Where's your Venus? I'm gonna out you. Venus in Leo, 29 degrees. Yeah. So you're kind of wrapping up the story around love again. That is the story of having to have all the attention, and right after that, I don't know, probably you're into Venus in Virgo or Venus in Libra right now by progression. So that means that you've had a little bit more analysis time, and that just is reinforced by all the energy you have in Virgo, Sun, Pluto, Uranus, and then Mercury in Libra at 1 degree. So, you've probably gone through your period of, okay, why can't I get all my needs met? What's going on? And I think we talked about this before, that selfless give, and not getting your needs met. So, yeah. Is it getting better? Well, I could tell you it's going to get better when Jupiter gets into Libra, but you're definitely going to have some energy in Libra of attracting people, but it's going to be probably almost a year, I would say June of next year, when you're really going to attract just more what you want. Because when Jupiter goes into Libra but gets to 20 degrees, it goes into your first house of self, and then you're able to actually express it, and then you're able to expand your own desires within the relationship and not just give, and not also be selfish in it. Like it's more of a balanced energy for love.
Okay. I'm okay with. I'm very much okay with June the next year. Like me, I like being by myself. I was actually here doing a little work on this freelance writing that I'm doing. I'm more concerned about the money thing.
Well, have you gotten any money this week? Because all that Taurus has been pretty good for me, I can tell you. Has it helped you at all?
Well, I'm actually just starting up. I'm writing like articles and stuff like that. I'm in the middle of writing a book. I've gotten a couple of little jobs, but I'm actually building from scratch right now. I'm only on my second client. What I would like to do, I would like to, what I would want to do, I want to leave the job I'm on right now. I don't have a problem with it, but it's just I want to do the things. Like, I want to sit around studying and writing, just want income from that. You know what I'm saying? Get into astrology more, get into numerology more, and things of that nature, write books and write, to do stuff like that, but on my terms. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of stuff I like to study and catch up on. It's like I have a dust cloud of information just floating around. I haven't had the time to really
I totally understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking financially, the fall is going to be really great for you. Mars gets into your house and, just gets out of your house of money. It's in your house of money actually even up until then. Once it gets direct, I think it's going to be better for you. But really what you're learning about more is your sense of value for yourself and really making your dream come true, because I think I might have told you this before, Mars is going to go over your natal Mars at 0 degrees Sagittarius. And once it gets over that, that's the beginning of, it goes a second time over that. Hang on a second. Let me look at when it gets there. So it's going to be the end of this month, around the 26th, 27th. And right after that, you're going to be dealing with the last bit of sense of not feeling like you value, like other people value you. But this time with Mars in Scorpio is absolutely about wrapping up those old stories we tell ourselves around money. So if you've shifted how you see money by going, okay, I have all these things I want to write about, and now I'm finally going to do something about it, then when Mars gets into Scorpio and goes, oh, here's some of the same old story, you're going to react to it differently. And when you react to it differently, you've changed. And then you can actually become the person you want to become. So that's what that energy is about. It's about the test. Okay? So it's like a test. You say you've changed. You say you know you value yourself more, but do you really? Because then the environment's going to show you that one last little kick at you going, it's not working out. And you're going to say, no, I am not putting up with that anymore. I have had that story. I'm done with it. Now I'm making my dreams come true, and I'm going this way, and too bad for you. So when you change that energy, that's when you know for a fact that you've changed yourself, and that money is going to be there as soon as Mars goes direct. And you're going to be right on top of that Mars. And I would definitely do something with education. I mean, Sagittarius, first off, you have Scorpio in the house of money, the second house.
Right.
And Scorpio is about research and about understanding things on a deeper level. And so that's the energy of the detective and the researcher, and then it goes into Sagittarius, which is the professor and the spiritual advisor and somebody who's really the seeker of information and also the person who imparts information. And so the value, per se, is the value of education, the value of understanding. So yes, writing the story, writing the books, go in alignment with that. As long as you are writing them to teach other people, money will come from that.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's exactly what I want to do. And to be honest with you, the things that I'm going through right now, I'm really not stressed about it. The way it happened, you were like, that just couldn't just happen. The way it happened, it just couldn't just happen the way it happened. So I was a little bit calm about it. I mean, like it's not like I'm homeless right now. I'm used to having a little bit more than I got right now. I just developed a hole, like somebody, how they somebody cut a hole in your pocket. Like, where did that go?
No, I totally get it. I had a little extra money this month, and then I went to get new license plates, and they're like, oh, well, this is going to cost an extra $400. Like, what? So I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
But Jupiter going direct, that's what you're looking for May 9th.
Well, that's in a couple of days.
It's 6 days away. May 9th, Jupiter goes direct. He's going to go over your sun, and it's in the house of money from career. And it's in Virgo, which, again, is like the librarian, the educator, the teacher of service. You're going to be of service, but it's also being of service to yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Are you going to move?
Actually, I'm writing. Eventually, what I would like to do is travel around the United States and like hang out in Starbucks and cafes and things of that nature and write.
Yeah.
The book I'm writing right now is actually on the law of attraction. One of the aspects of the law of attraction help people out to that effect.
Awesome.
It seems to that when I don't actually, it's like on my shows, on the Sunday shows, on One in the Spirit. I that's not one I really need to. You can just throw something and I can go. I've lived that. I've researched it. That comes out seamlessly. And but yeah, I'm all about. I told when I discontinued my Friday show, I was telling my audience, I was like, I can't. I really can't. I don't feel like I'm communicating what I'm trying to communicate. It was some more other esoteric stuff like that, but a lot of stuff, meeting up. Because of scheduling and inconsistency, I didn't really feel like I was communicating with them. So I said to them, what I want to do, I'd be better served putting in this in a book. But all of a sudden, when I made that decision, everything just started to move in that direction. I'm like,
you go.
It's a beautiful experience. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and you're listening to your inner voice. So that's definitely what we need to do, and that's definitely what Neptune's asking us to do right now is listen to our inner voice. Neptune's in your house of creativity right now. So listen, Vaughn, I've got a few callers to grab before the end of the show, but thank you for calling.
Always.
It's always nice talking to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's get on with 724. Hi, 724. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Marie.
Marie, have you called the show before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just going to start a new little card to do your chart.
I have my birth date. My birth
awesome.
date and my time of birth.
Okay. Give it to me.
12/12/1967.
Okay.
At 5:04 a.m.
5:04 a.m. Where were you born?
Pennsylvania. Braddock.
What's it called?
Braddock, Pennsylvania.
You're going to have to spell it. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it again.
Braddock.
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
Got it. Okay. Let's see if I can find that in my little thing here. Hang on one second.
Sure.
Just getting all the information in. Okay, wonderful. So what can I do for you today?
Just the basic, love and finance.
Love and finance.
Or whatever
okay.
popped out.
Okay, no. Your finances are going through a whole shift and change. You've got Pluto that's been transiting your second house of money probably since late 2005, maybe even a little bit sooner, maybe early 2005. And so that means that you've had major shifts in ideology and basically how you think of money. And Pluto in Capricorn wants you to look at what your fears are around money and the systems that you use to create money in your life. And generally, Sagittarius on the cusp of your second house of money means, like I said earlier on the show, that you don't really want to care about money initially because it's just another thing in the world, and it really isn't something that you want initially. But then when Pluto went into Capricorn, it kind of woke you up to the fact that there are systems out there, and you need to address those systems. You need to look more at the structure of your finances. Is it doing what you need it to do? Are you where you want to be for retirement, especially because Capricorn is about your later years. So, Pluto's really kind of going, hey, you got to look here. But let me see where else you have. So Venus right now in Taurus is in your house of service and work. So really that just tells me that there's a lot of energy being fed into your job, that you are either handling money or able to do more with money. And Mercury retrograde, Mercury went into your house of marriage and partnership, and then it retrograded, and it's going back a little bit towards the house of work and service and health. So definitely, like if you're in a relationship, are you married?
Separated.
Separated, okay. This energy right now with Mercury retrograde is saying you're probably having some energy about going back. If you pulled away and you're not sure, there's some thoughts about like, is this really what I want to do? And financially, am I going to be able to make it? Definitely, you're going to be able to make it. Jupiter is retrograde in your house of career, and Jupiter is the great benefic. It is fortune in your chart. It's in Virgo. So the energy for you is about money, career, and your work. And that's definitely going to pick up again for you also after May 9th, because Jupiter is going to go direct, and it's in career. And I think that you're going to have some opportunity to travel, and there are major life changes coming around your career and your ability to connect other people. I think that you're going to be meeting new people probably around July and August that will connect you to what you need to do with your life path. You have Saturn in the house of love. So Saturn in Aries in the 5th house means that you need to do something that relates to children. Normally, like I would just say, retail sales at a children's boutique would be a really good place for you, or something that creates connection to children, that also creates the ability to be a child yourself, but also market yourself. Graphic design would be a good thing. I mean, like a really good thing. You'd probably be really good. What do you do?
I'm a merchandiser.
There you go. Merchandise. Perfect.
I do.
That's
I
what
do. I
do.
do have,
Yeah.
the visual merchandiser background, and
That's interesting because
I'm very
I got
creative.
Carter's for you. When I saw Saturn and Aries in the 5th house, I'm like, she should work at Carter's. But yeah, but definitely you have some fortune coming. Uranus, the planet Uranus, is going to be going into your house of work, which means working for yourself, having your own business. He is going to retrograde this year. He was retrograde towards the end of last year, so he went direct not too long ago, but he's going to start to retrograde again, which means you're going to start to really pull back and think. At the end of July, you're going to be like, wow, have I done what I really want to do? So there's, and again, he's going to be leaving the house of children and going into the house of work and service and health. And that means that you're going to wrap up some stories around children and play and romance, but it's also going to be starting some new stuff with that same energy, because when major planets transit a house and then get out of that house, it's like they let loose of everything that has been the issue and they allow it to come to you. So definitely there's going to be some opportunity for romance and moving forward, some new job opportunities for you. And I think I've got chills all over for that. So I think that you're going to have a really good group of opportunities between love and between helping others and also doing the kind of career you really want. And there's going to be some healing coming in before October for you. It's really going to, and absolutely I would say September for you, huge month for your career. And for also doing what you want to do as an individual. Like if you want to start your own business, Jupiter will be on Uranus and Virgo at N degrees. So you're wrapping up working for others as a means of income, and you're going to be going into the energy of Libra, which is air, and that's partnering with somebody. So there's probably an opportunity for partnering. It will be very healing for you. And I see you owning your own business. I definitely see some opportunities for that. All right? And Saturn will be going into your house of money, which is also long-distance travel. So there might be foreign opportunities coming in, for money as well. Okay?
Okay.
Well, thank you for the call. It's good talking to you. I like getting new calls. All right. Take care, Marie. Let us know how it goes. Okay, you're welcome. Bye. Okay, I've got a few minutes here. Let's see. 913. Hi, how are you?
Hey, stranger. How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Finally get to catch your show.
Okay, now I'm going strictly by voice, so you're gonna is this Sarah?
Her mom.
Oh, okay. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Okay, Andy.
Sarah's my daughter, and I'm her mother.
Okay, I recognize your voice. Pardon me.
I'm Chips and Salsa.
I know, but I don't have you in there. I don't think I have you in there as Chips and Salsa. So you
have me in there as Louise.
Louise, okay. Well then, it seems like every time you call, I'm looking for you under the phone number that you call in. I've got Kate and I've got Andy. And what's your birthday again?
11/18/61.
No, I don't have you here. How strange is that? I'm sure I have you, but
weird.
Now I've got to figure out where the heck I put you. So
maybe under Chips.
There, I've got Chips. There you are. Yep, you're way down there under Chips. Okay, awesome. Phew. Wait a minute, you said October?
No, November.
That's no. Yep. I've got hold on. I've got you all. I've got your family all over this. I've got Sarah. I've got your husband. I've got Gracie. I don't see you. Okay, we're gonna have to do you again. I'm gonna put you under that new phone number, and then I will know. I will have you. And I'm at the last minute of the show. Let me thank everybody who has been on the air with me and everyone who called. And I'm going to continue on with Chips and Salsa, and then we'll wrap it up. But anyway, hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Because now I've got to get this all squared away. Let's see. Okay. So tell me your birthday again. October 11th, you said?
No, November 18th.
How did I get that? Oh my goodness. Okay, and what year?
61.
Okay, and tell me all your information again. I know you're in there somewhere. I just can't find you.
Okay.
Time?
What time am I born? I have it on my iPad. I believe it's 11 something. I think it's 11:38. That's what I believe. I think it's 11:38 a.m.
A.m. Okay, where at?
Chicago.
Okay. All right, we're on board now. Yeah, long time no talk.
It's been crazy, as you know.
Yes. So what can I do for you today?
Looking about, money, whatever you've got.
Okay. Well, well, Mars is almost right on top of your natal Mars. He's retrograding, and he's going to go back into Scorpio, which is going to get really close to your midheaven. So there's some issues for you around getting attention and your value in the public eye. Okay? So all your Scorpio planets are in the ninth house, which means the subconscious or subliminal house from your career. So you've spent a lot of time doing the learning stuff, but now Saturn and Mars are telling you it's time to own it and make it a career. And that's something that you have to wrap up over the course of May, June, and July. And again, also by the fall, when these planets get forward and move back into Sagittarius, and then it's all going to be flying into the new career. But I think there's a move, because if you haven't already moved, Mars is going to want you to move or go to a new place for the money, for the job. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I have an elderly relative that lives becoming more ill.
Lives
and
where?
I'm contemplating about 2 hours away in another part of Kansas.
Okay.
And I'm contemplating doing a paralegal certificate, degree, whatever, online.
Do it.
To pursue further gerontology in my medical, because we've had so many issues, and even our family, with my mom and my dad about POAs, estates, and all of that.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, maybe I need to go this. I don't know. But I know that she's going to need someone full-time to take care of her, and that will be kind of like my outlet to do the paralegal thing.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm not sure whether that was a good deal or not, or am I moving there, or are we all moving there as a family, or is it just me? Okay.
I think you're going to move. I think if you don't move this year, I think you're definitely going to move by next year. But Mars is going to be on your midheaven, and that's directly opposite your house, home, and family. So the energy you're putting out into the universe, I do kind of want to say, like, in the earlier part of the year, were you feeling like you just have to get away from your life and change things up and do something different?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it you wanted to do with that?
Well, I was thinking of doing maybe the legal assistance instead of the medical assistance.
Okay, but is it practical or is it adventure? Tell me about the adventure of your soul.
I want to do it because it's that same passion of the unjust treatment of elders and whatnot, and I think that this may be a way of satisfying that need to help those, in that area, in that arena.
Well, I think that you're on the right path, because Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto is legal and Capricorn is elderly, and that's in your 12th house, coming up, it's about 8 degrees away from your Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn is your career, and of course career is the elderly because it's Capricorn. And you're very intuitive. You're very keyed in to the universal love energy, and you love the elderly. It's part of it. And Pluto wants to have you help them. And then of course your Sun, Neptune, Mercury, and Venus are all in Scorpio. So I think that there's also an opportunity to teach others how to do things, because of all those planets in the ninth, that you're able, like, if you got the certificate, you would have the credibility, which is the Pluto and Capricorn. And then as long as you're acknowledging the adventure side of things and the spiritual and adventure side, because that's Sagittarius in your house of career, and Mars also is right there. So you need to have something that engages that wanderlust or that spirituality. Pardon me?
Well, you know, with all that transpired with my mom dying and horrifically, and at the hands of my sister who was, you know, medical power of attorney and tortured her basically legally, and now is doing it to my dad.
Oh my gosh!
And it is incredibly awful. And she told my aunt that lives out that way, she's next. She actually told her, you're next. And I can't get anyone in the legal system to say that's enough, you're off. You know.
Why?
Why
can't you do that?
Well, it will take over $50,000 to fight her because she has the power of attorney, and you'd have to go for guardianship. And long as she...
I would just want to know, have you set up video cameras? Because Scorpio energy is very covert.
Oh, yeah. I've paid her when she's gone more than manic. I believe she's bipolar, narcissistic, sadistic.
Well, you know, she can't continue if she's assaulted them. So if you get it on camera, you know, how is she going to be able to continue?
Well, see, that's the thing. On camera, she won't assault. She'll be abusive verbally and emotionally. And the state has said if there are no bruises, we can't do anything.
Well, it sounds to me like she probably will end up doing that, won't she?
You know, I think she's almost at that point to break. And
well, I can tell you, Taurus can be very physical, and all these planets in Taurus, I wouldn't be surprised if that is happening right now.
And so, you know, my thing is, you know, I would love to come up with a law to protect those that once they become that ill or that old, that even their own families can't do this to them. Somebody has to step in and maybe even give them a mental evaluation because she is not mentally right. It doesn't matter. As long as she has that paper, she has all the right. And it's in every state. It's disgusting.
Wow.
But I get very passionate about it. I apologize, but it's just,
no, you don't have to apologize because guess what? That's your life purpose. Saturn in Capricorn. It's your life purpose. The elderly. It really is.
Yeah, it's just horrible. People
Jupiter in Aquarius is justice. So, absolutely. No, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
If that's your passion, that's where you need to be, and your chart shows it. Jupiter's retrograde right now in your 8th house, and that's the house of Scorpio. It's in Virgo, which is health and healing. It just went over your Pluto, and now when it goes forward May 9th, it's going to be transiting that whole house of death and rebirth, and it's in Virgo, health and healing. So definitely expanding that part of your mindset, but you're not alone because it is in the partnering segment. It's in commitment to others. So yeah, I do think that you're probably going to advocate for your aunt, you said, and that's weird. It is your aunt, right?
Yeah.
When you said a family member, I thought that's her aunt. So yeah, doesn't surprise me. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's her aunt. Anyway,
well, you know, I took all the money I had from my small car accident last year from the Sarah and Steve and put it into, you know, fixing her home because I figured one day we're going to move there. And I don't know why, but, you know. Yeah,
well, it's probably coming up because when Mars goes direct, and I'll tell you when that is, I think it's like June 28th, or it might be May 28th. It gets back to Sagittarius June, I think. Hang on a second. Yeah, Mars goes direct on June 28th, and then he gets back to Sagittarius on the 3rd of August, and on the 12th of August, Saturn goes direct in Sagittarius. So what happens is Mars gets back into Sagittarius, Saturn goes direct. So everything that was moving forward earlier this year until, well, Mars just went retrograde, but Saturn was retrograde last month, then it's going to pick back up. So that, you know, August is the month everything is going to move forward again. So for those who are like, I can't believe it, it's all constipated. Well, wait till August. It's all going to go forward. By September, October, the world's going to be huge change, huge, huge, huge. So, Yep, you too.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right,
Yep.
thanks a bunch,
You're
Shelley.
welcome.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for the call. Okay, take care.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, that's the end of the show for May 3rd. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and we will talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at Ironwood